Hey, good morning. So, this is my second week doing this Coffee with Carla segment, and I'm still not sure if I like it or not. I mean, actually, I know I like it. I don't know if anyone else will like it, but that's okay. I'm going to do it anyways. And the idea was just that, like, I'm home alone right now and having my coffee, and I don't know, it'd be kind of nice to feel like I'm with somebody else because we're in the middle of COVID and all that. And yeah. I don't really do a lot. I usually journal when I first wake up and have my coffee or tea. I'm on my second tea of the day. And then what I do usually is I actually have been avoiding social media lately, almost altogether actually, because I don't find it helpful. And if anything, I find it makes me a little bit anxious. Like, um, if somebody tells me like, hey, did you see my Facebook post? I'll maybe say like, okay, I'll pop on there really quickly, and then I'll just sort of like as many of my friends' stuff as I possibly can in that 5 minutes. But um, yeah, it mostly makes me anxious because Facebook is like a place where people go to like shout out all the stuff that they hate. Like that every morning I used to do that. I would go on Facebook and then feel awful. And I'd feel like sad. And so I thought I'm not going to do that anymore. So this morning, I'll back up a bit. What I started doing was actually scrolling Google. So when you open up Google on your phone, before you actually type in your question, there's like a list of stuff. I don't know if anyone else noticed this. I only just noticed this not that long ago. And it's like Google suggests articles for you and websites and things. And they're surprisingly accurate, which I've always said is equally handy as it is kind of creepy. Like Google knows everything about you. And so in some ways it's like, and in other ways it's like, well, that's really handy. Like, let's be honest. So I scroll Google and sure enough, there's all sorts of things that I'm totally interested in. Lots of like, I'm really into Elon Musk and everything he's up to because Mars, hello, I think that'd be awesome. Um, Mostly I just skip right over the COVID stuff. I see the headlines and that's enough for me, because when that fills most of my newsfeed and I don't even click on it. So Google knows I'm not clicking on most of that stuff and it's still more than half of my feed. So that's interesting. But I find Facebook is worse because it's not only serving me all these things, but also all my friends are reposting them. So, which is fine and great for them. But for me, I tend to go over to Google. But this morning I didn't do that at all because what happened was last night, what I do scroll is YouTube, which is actually social media. But I sort of switched from Facebook to YouTube because it does the same thing. It curates stuff for you more than Facebook, because Facebook, you mostly just see your friends and pages that are you're already subscribed to or you already like. But YouTube will show you stuff that it thinks you're going to like and things you might want to subscribe to. So that's kind of cool. So last night, this is so funny. I saw the stupidest video ever. Well, the title was the stupidest title for a video I've ever seen. And I clicked on it because I was like, this cannot be for real. It was called Study With Me. I was like, what? And the thumbnail was just some guy at his computer screen, like studying. So I clicked on it. I'm like, this is stupid. What do you mean study with me? But one of the reasons I clicked on it was because it had over 8,000 views. And I was like, what? 8,000 people have decided that they want to study with this guy. So what does he do? And then as I got into the video, I realized it was even more stupid. He did nothing. So he does nothing. He studies. Like, he doesn't say anything. He's just studying. So the idea is you put on your phone or whatever beside you when this guy's studying, and then you study too. And I thought, well, that's dumb, but I'm still watching. so, so I was like, well, what do the comments say? So I was scrolled for the comments, and the comments were mostly, this helped me so much. I got so much more studying done, and I was like efficient. I didn't get sidetracked. All of that stuff, like really good comments. But then some of them were like, I clicked on it because I thought it was stupid. I'm like, aha, me too. But I tried it and it really works. And I was like, what? Anyways, so I'm actually going to try it today. I'm going to watch his video while I work though, instead. So he does like 50 minutes, 50, of studying and then a 10-minute break. And so I was like, this might be really good. And he's got a few of them, different lengths. One is like an hour. So you study for 50 minutes, take a 10-minute break, and then you're done or something. Maybe it's 2 hours. And then he's got like a 3-hour, a 4-hour, and a 5-hour. Yeah. And it was, I think, the 5-hour that had all the views. And so I thought, well, I could really use that because today I'm going to do about 5 hours worth of like just solid work. But I find too, I get distracted because I work from home. So this is perfect for me because I'm a really disciplined person and I still get sidetracked with stuff at home by myself. Like it's easy to not work, even though I love my job. It's the best job in the world, but it's hard to work from home when you're working from home. When else would you work from home? So whether you're working at home because COVID or because you have a stay-at-home job, either way, I'm curious. I want to do it today, but then I thought, well, what if I did a video like that? Because some of the comments were, dude, I totally missed the breaks. You should have like a bell or something. Because I think he was just silent. And so then he's like, he had like a timer on the screen that counted down. I think I would maybe not have that, but just be like, go. Like I'll have my own timer set and then you'll hear that. So the only sound on the video will be like when it's time. So, and then also I thought, what I need though, is I need reminders to drink water and to go and like stretch, not like do a whole yoga stretch, but like a 10-minute break. I should get up because you should get up, right? And even outside. So just a little reminder, okay, it's break time. Remember to grab a glass of water, have a drink of water. I don't ever bring snacks to my work area because so many reasons. I don't think it's the best for our digestive system. And snacking, time for another sip. It makes your body like have to work and therefore could get tired. So if you've ever noticed like the after lunch sleepies, that's because your body's busy trying to digest. So, but I also don't bring water to my desk because I'm really clumsy and I'll be that person that spills it on my keyboard. So every hour, if I have a full glass of water or however much water I need, I think that would be a good idea. So I'm going to do a video. That's what I do. That's kind of like how this whole channel started is I didn't quite find yoga videos that I really liked. So I do watch my own yoga videos. My husband walked by me doing yoga to my own video last night and he laughed. He's like, that's funny. He's like, I guess if you're the best. And I'm like, shut up. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm just saying I know what I like. And so I make my videos to be, the sequence and the order that I feel is best and the safest biomechanically for my body. So yeah, I'm going to listen to my own video. So I'm going to do this. But instead of study with me, it might be work with me or read with me because I know for myself, I have like a stack of books that I want to read. And some of them are fun books, but others of them are just like nonfiction. I want the information and I wish I could just download it. So it's not an easy read, some of them. Like for instance, the Vedas are like ancient yogic texts, and I have the Vedas in like 1,000-page one book tome with thin paper and tiny like the Bible, like writing. That's going to be a tough one because it's, like interesting, but it's so much. So I would like to have a video like this to follow along with, So I'm going to do that. So watch for that. I probably won't do it today because I'm going to work today. I'm going to watch his video. And then once I've actually I'm not going to sit there and watch it. I'm going to work with it. I'll just think of other things that I might want to add to my video that I make. And then, I'll make one. I don't know what length to make it though. I might do a few as well, longer, shorter, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do separate ones, read with me or work with me or study with me. I think it would actually help the yoga teacher trainees. So if you're my student and you're having trouble studying, because I've heard that feedback is like, I have the reading to do, I'm really caught up on all your videos because I have like the whole courses on video. So you watch me kind of like this, yammering away about the history of yoga and stuff. I try to make it interesting. But then there's also text reading as well. And so that part I've heard from people saying, I'm just not a good reader. Like I'm not good at sitting down and reading. So this might be helpful to my students. So anyways, watch for that coming out soon. But then my big work day today, I'm so excited. I have decided to do a beginner yoga course, but it's going to be 2 levels. So like beginner level 1 and beginner level 2 kind of thing, but it's not going to be just for beginners. It's going to be like, because when the studio closed, I realized I have a lot of really good programs, right? Like we had a program called Core Competence, which replaced our beginner program, and then we switched the name to Yoga Foundations. So it was a little bit confusing, you know? And what I found was with that Yoga Foundations or Core Competence program, yoga teachers took the program and loved it. But beginners said, that is so much information. Now I feel even more intimidated. Like some of them liked it, but they were like, I'm going to have to take that course like 4 times in order to retain the information. So I've actually split it up. So that's what I'm going to work on today. I've taken my notes that were like 80 pages long, my own teacher notes that are point form. And so it's going to be like a big course, but I'm going to split it up into 2 courses. And the first course will just be simply, here are all the poses, and here's what they're called, and here's how you do them. So it'll be one at a time, and I'm going to go alphabetically just so it's easier, you know, and just explain what the pose is called. I'll maybe say it because I'll say it in Sanskrit a few times so you can really hear what the Sanskrit name is called and then what the English name is called, and here's how you get into it. You know, here's where you're stretching, the basics. And then the part that Yoga Foundations was really known for was the details. So the second course will be the exact same 70 poses, and it'll be all the details, how to refine your alignment. Because a funny thing happens, we did this in advanced badges, which was another program I did that was great, but it was just people would sort of like, what course do I take? Where do I go? Where do I fit in? So now I'm doing like a systematic step-by-step. Even if you're an advanced practitioner, start at the bottom so that you can you'll go through it quicker if you're advanced. And with advanced badges though, we were doing more advanced poses, and it was like regular beginner, intermediate people taking advanced badges. But what they found was that when I adjust them physically manually, which we can't do anymore because COVID, but I can still tell you what to move where. All of a sudden, like if you're in Warrior 2 and you're thinking I'm as deep as I can possibly go, like I can't bend that front leg anymore. If you simply learn, well, if I externally rotate my bent leg a little bit more, now the head of the femur is sitting in the ball and socket joint squarely. You just kind of go, and you go into that pose even more. Like, oh my gosh, one little micro movement and your pose deepens. So this is not to say that, you know, deepening the pose is the entire goal of yoga. But I also need to sort of put in my 2 cents about how when people say that, I've seen on a lot of forums where people say, you know, how do I get, you know, I've been doing such and such a pose for years and I'm not getting any more flexible. There'll be a lot of comments saying, it's not about that. Don't worry about that. But a lot of people will actually have good tips. Well, if you really lift up through here more, you will find your pose progresses quicker. So although it's not the single goal to get deeper in a yoga pose, it is actually a goal. So you can think of that as vain or not. But the idea with the yoga practice is that you're trying to get your body as healthy as possible, right? And that means stronger and more flexible. So you're trying to just simply increase your range of motion to its maximum capacity. Whether or not you ever get to the human maximum capacity or not, that part doesn't matter. As long as you're putting in the time and you're showing yourself that you are taking care of yourself, that is good. But to say that you should ignore ever going deeper into a pose means you shouldn't have goals and you shouldn't have aspirations. And I think that's a little silly, because if all you need to do is adjust something so that you're in correct biomechanical alignment, well, that's doing the pose better anyways, and you will naturally progress in the pose. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. So I'm going to work on that, and I don't even have a date for you. I really don't usually talk about stuff like this until I'm like, I'm going to launch this program in 1 week or whatever. I'm just going to do it as quickly as I possibly can, and I'm really, really excited. So I'm going to try to do like a 5-hour stint on it and see how close I get. And then after the end of today, I might know how quickly I can get that program to you, because I want to do the 2 of them. So I'll sort of do the 2 back to back. But once I have my outline ready, then I'll have to do all the videoing, which does take some time as well. But I'm so excited that I will work on it quite consistently. So yeah, so I didn't do any Google scrolling today, but I do hope you have a really, really good Monday. Start the week out really good. One of the things I did this morning before I jumped on here was I cleaned my desk. So I just got it all ready. It turns out my desk was really super dusty. So I fixed that. I cleaned it up. I had papers on there that didn't need to be there anymore, like old papers that had information on that I don't require anymore. So I recycled all those and just got everything cleaned up and dusted. So now my work area is good. The other thing I like to do first thing in the morning is get my machines running, like my dishwasher going and my laundry machine thing that washes clothes, that thing that I'm sure I'll think of the name of in a moment. Washing machine. There I go. There I go. Caffeine is sinking in. So yeah. I guess I should probably end our video here. Just about done my tea, and I really want to get working on that beginner program for you, and then that like sort of intermediate program. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I think just Yoga Foundations 1 and 2. What was that noise? It's kind of spooky. I haven't ever been alone in my house. This is the first time in a long time, not like today specifically, but we no longer have any like tenants or family living here or anything, and this is new. So you know how like the same thing happened when we used to have a cat. I used to blame a lot of the noises on the cat, but then my cat died. I was so sad. This was a long time ago before I had kids. All of a sudden I heard all these creaks and stuff in my house, and I was like, that is not the cat. There's no cat. And so now I don't have anyone else here. And man, are there ever a lot of noises. I thought that last one was the furnace because it was a big clunk. Okay, now I'm getting paranoid. Maybe I've had too much caffeine. There's no footsteps upstairs, and it's just my house creaking. And I'm going to go work while I watch that study video. And yeah, I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning. Have a really, really good day. And as always, namaste.